Hello everyone. Welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Am I the only one who doesn't want Dolores on The Real Housewives of Rhode Island? We are all aware that The Real Housewives of New Jersey is on pause for the foreseeable future due to certain cast members refusing to film with one another and the overall toxicity surrounding the show. I can understand why the ladies of New Jersey would be extremely frustrated with the show's long pause and the lack of information regarding who would be returning and who would be saying farewell. However, that does not mean I believe that Housewives should swerve out of their lane and join another franchise. I believe that The Real Housewives of Rhode Island was created to steer away from all the negative energy and toxicity throughout the Real Housewives franchise right now. A new show means new beginnings and fresh starts. Bringing in a whole new group of women in a different state is just what this franchise needs, but I think in order for it to succeed there needs to be an entirely new cast. Without Dolores Catania. If Dolores were to join this new show, I think The Real Housewives of Rhode Island would lose authenticity from the jump. The reason we all fell in love with the Housewives franchise to begin with is because of how real it was. It started out as a group of women experiencing and navigating life together. Some were related, others were best friends, and some were mortal enemies. Regardless of their relationship with each other, we loved it because it was authentic and real. Adding Dolores to the mix, in my opinion, takes away from that realness because she has been on The Real Housewives of New Jersey for 8 years. She knows how everything works, she knows how to play the game, and she knows what we viewers like and do not like. Her presence on the new show would take away from the women who are experiencing reality television for the first time, because everybody would be authentically themselves, except Dolores. Looking back to season 1 of The Real Housewives of New Jersey, all the ladies were genuinely themselves, because nobody was used to being on television. We got the bubbly Teresa Giudice, the wild Danielle Staub, and the zen Dana Manzo. I'm afraid that if Dolores joined the new show, we would not get the true personality traits of the new women because Dolores has played the game. Her presence could affect the authenticity before The Real Housewives of Rhode Island has even truly begun. When Andy Cohen dropped the news that The Real Housewives of Rhode Island will be coming to Bravo eventually, he also mentioned that The Real Housewives of New Jersey now has some competition. Andy explained that the women of Rhode Island are very Italian and reminded him of the old-school Jersey days. If this is the case, my question is, why is Dolores even needed then? If this new show is similar to the early seasons of New Jersey and the cast is filled with Italian women, then I do not think there is any reason to bring Dolores in. Watching a new group of fierce Italian women navigate through Rhode Island sounds extremely entertaining to me, and if it is so similar to New Jersey already, then I do not see the point in bringing a cast member from New Jersey onto the show. Dolores has had her time to shine on her own show and share her own experience with Italian culture with us. Now it is the women of Rhode Island's turn. I am a huge fan of Dolores Catania. I think she is a strong, courageous woman who can stand her own ground, but that does not mean that I think she should jump ship from The Real Housewives of New Jersey and join Bravo's hottest new housewife edition. I think Dolores would take away from the authenticity of the new show from the jump, and I do not see the need for her presence if The Real Housewives of Rhode Island is already giving Italian Jersey. Maybe it's controversial, maybe it's downright blasphemous in some circles, but I have to ask, am I the only one who doesn't want Dolores on The Real Housewives of Rhode Island? I get it, Dolores is iconic. She's got the Staten Island gravel in her voice, the don't test me energy, and a loyalty that could move mountains. She's the kind of person you want next to you in a bar fight and a family brunch. But here's the thing, she doesn't belong on this franchise, not this one, not in Rhode Island. Let's start with the obvious, Rhode Island is a different beast. It's the smallest state with the loudest secrets. Here, wealth is old, whispers carry farther than shouts, and family legacies go back to the Mayflower, or at least claim they do. The Real Housewives of Rhode Island isn't supposed to be a battleground of bold East Coast bravado. It's supposed to be laced with lobster rolls, subtle snubs at the yacht club, and an ongoing rivalry over whose last name is slightly more blue-blooded. Dolores, she's all fire and no filter. She's the one who walks into a Newport fundraiser in a leopard print jumpsuit, while everyone else is in understated linen. That might sound fun at first, but fun quickly becomes chaos, and chaos is a different flavor in Rhode Island. Here, people eviscerate you with a raised eyebrow, not a table flip. Let's face it, Bravo knows what it's doing most of the time. They cast with intention. There's a formula, there's a balance. You need a snob, a wild card, a social climber, a comic relief, and a queen bee. Rhode Island's cast was finally clicking. We had the perfect cocktail of passive aggression and seafood-fueled drama. Then in stomps Dolores like a wrecking ball in Christian Louboutins. And look, I'm not saying I don't love her in Jersey. She's at home in that world, where the dinner tables are war zones and loyalty is the #1 currency. But Rhode Island is quieter. The grudges are colder. You don't yell in someone's face. You send a polite email and make sure they're not invited to the next regatta. Dolores is too real for Rhode Island. That's the ironic truth. She's not pretending. She's not maneuvering. She's blunt, and Rhode Island is anything but. In a place where a smile can mean, I hate you, and a shared recipe is a peace treaty, Dolores sticks out like a sore thumb, and not in a good way. It's like trying to stir clam chowder with a jackhammer. It's not going to end well for the chowder. I also can't ignore how she throws off the dynamics. There's an art to the Housewives' chemistry. Too much of one element and the potion turns toxic. The show was finally hitting a delicate stride. The delicate tension between Newport's WASP royalty and Providence's self-made socialites was compelling, juicy, and oddly elegant. Enter Dolores, and suddenly we're veering into Sopranos meets Martha's Vineyard energy. This isn't about her not being strong enough. She's too strong. She's too present. She doesn't just join a group, she dominates it. She's the type to sit at a table of 6 and unknowingly become the gravitational center. That's fine in some shows, but in this show, it upsets the balance. Her power becomes the story, and that's not what Rhode Island needs. What about the cultural misfit aspect? Rhode Island is layered with old-world quirks. There are unwritten rules. You don't just show up and expect to be embraced. You earn your way into social circles, usually through generations of proximity or the perfect clam bake. Dolores, for all her street smarts, doesn't play that long game. She's immediate, direct, and efficient. But here, that's interpreted as invasive, brash, even, dare I say it, rude. And no, this isn't some elitist rejection. It's a matter of tone. Dolores operates in a world of emotional honesty and blunt force. Rhode Island operates in whispered critiques and subtle status plays. There's a beauty in the contrast, sure, but contrast only works when it complements. In this case, it's oil and water, or more accurately, red sauce and butter poached lobster. Let me paint you a scene. The ladies are at a historic mansion overlooking Narragansett Bay. There's a harpist, champagne. Everyone's pretending not to notice that Marissa snubbed Emily's invitation to the preservation gala. Then Dolores barges in, late in a muscle car, and immediately asks, "What's with all the faces? Someone fart." It's funny. It's real. But it also kills the whole vibe. There's also the issue of storyline domination. With Dolores in the mix, every other woman's arc becomes irrelevant. She will become the main event. And maybe that's great TV in the short term, but in the long run, it's a show killer. These ensemble casts thrive when the tension simmers across multiple pots. Dolores brings it to a boil, fast, too fast.